Hey, it's John Halpin. That's Ryan Fowler. I've got son right here. Ryan right here.
Yeah, right there. Not
Yeah,
so
I
much.
need a new
Not
office.
so much. It's like Tommy Boy. Not so much here. Not so
Yeah.
much here, but right in here.
I mean, and the window is there, so it's reflecting off something. Anyway, hi, it's John. That's Ryan. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Pickwatch Live for Week 14. Let's see. So you want to review Eagles Redskins first? The Sanchez is back, baby.
Well, it's so nice when Mark shows up, turns around, hands it off to Adrian Peterson, who's immortal, and he runs 90-plus yards for the touchdown. I mean, I know the future of the Washington Redskins in 2018 is a little shaky, but what AP has done this year, and I tweeted it out last night, you had Darren Sproles, who was drafted in 2005, score a touchdown. You had Adrian Peterson not only break that first line of defense, but outrun the Eagles secondary for that touchdown.
Yeah.
And he was drafted in 2007. And then Sanchez was drafted in 2009. Got some old blood there. You know, they always talk about NFL players' longevity is about, 2.5, 3 years? These guys are bucking the norm. And then again, Sanchez, I don't think was really going to be relied on too much. So he had a playbook about, 6 plays. They ran a trick play to throw it to Jordan Reed, who played quarterback at Florida his freshman year. So it's dire straits for the Redskins right now. Eagles looked as good as they needed to look to beat the Redskins last night. They're still a shaky team.
They're still a shaky team. Absolutely. So this week, the Redskins play the Giants at home. Sanchez appears to be the starting quarterback. They're going to sign someone off the street. Of course, the Kaepernick drums are beating again from some quarters. It couldn't be worse.
I mean, again, with the Reuben Foster angle, they have a point.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. It would be a good storyline for the last 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and again, I'm just very curious which brand name we hear get picked as their backup quarterback. It's going to be one of those, what is it, TJ Yates? No, who's Yates?
He was on the Texans. I don't know where he is now.
He's probably going to be the Redskins' backup.
Wow. Yeah. Tim Tebow. You can do that.
Matt Flynn from the Packers to the Seahawks?
Is he still playing?
I don't know. See, these are names that would not shock me as QB 3, 4, or Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed just might be quarterback next.
This is where we are, Redskins fans. Good luck in the final 4 weeks.
Poor Gruden, man. Everybody feels bad and maybe likes to mock his brother out in Oakland. The other brother, he's having a rough go the last few years.
He is. And it was started so promising.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to review the week's picks. I was 10-6 straight up, 9-7 against the spread. So I'm 93-94 for the season. Ryan was 9-7 straight up, 8-8 against the spread. He's 98-87 for the season. So that puts us at, against the spread, you are 7th overall. Strong. Still strong. I am 19th. Josh is 35th. In fact, I'm going to show you the page. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, upgrades this weekend. I don't know if everybody checked it out. Definitely a new, we call it a UI, John, user interface.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but it had a different look and feel to kind of give you a little bit more information as far as the breakdown of picks, which I thought was nice. You had a little bit more of an insight to how the picks broke down.
Yeah, right now, if you look at it right here, if you can see it, you see how much cleaner the design is with the teams and scores. And it used to be that the scores, the font was very small. The names are a little small. Now everything's it's cleaner and easier to read. I would say
it's in your face.
Yes. So you got it right there. What's up?
I like it a lot. I think the breakdown in pick percentage is probably my favorite part.
I agree. That looks good. All right. So to update us, Ben Volen from the Boston Globe, he was 8-7. He had a tie. He got, I guess the line he got was 4.
Yeah, those things fluctuated.
So he got a push. He's still in the lead against the spread. He's a game ahead of Jamie Eisenberg from CBS. So Ben Volen is 107.78. Jamie Eisenberg's 108.80. Again, you're 7th. You're the closest one. And within striking distance, probably not over 4 weeks, you're not going to make up 9 games.
Right.
I wouldn't think. You can get close, though. The best record for the week was 11-5 against the spread. Jared Bell from USA Today. Straight up, Kate Heropoulos from the Dallas Morning News is 129-60, leading the way. Nate Jenke from Pro Football Focus and Dave Richard from CBS Sports are 129-61, so they're a half game back. I am 25th on the list straight up. I'm 7 games back. 7.5 actually. You are 39th. Josh is 47th. So you're beating me by a lot against the spread, which is more important, quite frankly. And I'm beating you straight up. Fan wise, username Yang, is it Yang Yokum? It's IANG Yokum is 10-6. He leads the whole site for straight up at 132 and 57. Pretty strong. Boston _ PA 12-4 against the spread, leads everybody 106 and 73. So he's right up there with the experts against the spread. So that's our recap. We're going to stop the screen share and we're going to get back to us right now. All right. So before we start on week 13, check out those new features. Make your picks. Track everybody else's picks. NFLPickwatch.com. You can catch us on Twitter. He is at Freelance Fowler. I'm at Halpin37. The main account is at Pickwatch. Please, again, if you're watching this on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube later, like our Facebook page so you can see this live. But the game discussions will be there. And I'm going to put up the Thursday game discussion, which we will get to first. I'll put that up later. Jags-Titans. Didn't they have the first bad color rush game a few years ago on Thursday when the Jags wore the mustard color?
Yes. Mustard and ketchup. Mustard and ketchup. That was a good – that was a –
No, it wasn't ketchup.
It wasn't ketchup?
No, it was the Titans.
Okay.
You're thinking of Bills and Jets Christmas.
Oh, maybe that's it. I do – I mean, that's the one that really comes to mind. There was that ugly puke green. That wouldn't have been Jaguars, would it have?
No, it was a mustard. It was a brown mustard.
Like a Dijon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what they're doing this week. Hopefully not that.
No, that would be bad.
Maybe be something to distract from the Jags' bad play. Although they did bounce back with the 6-0 win over the Colts. The defense finally played well because they had been struggling for a long time.
Yeah, and if you go back to the second half of that Jags-Colts game in Indy a few weeks back, I believe they either shut them out or held them to less than a touchdown in their first meeting. So that I remember the Colts jumped out to like a 29-0 lead in the first half when they first met. And then in the second half, Jacksonville shut them down. Blake Bortles almost brought them back to win that game. And then, again, the last 2 weeks, the Colts offensive line, a little shaky. So there were some turnovers. Andrew Luck was sacked 3 times by the Jaguars. Jalen Ramsey made some plays as he was questionable going in with, I believe, a knee. And this just turns into another one of my favorite I hate the Titans type matchups.
Yeah, the Titans.
Because they don't make any sense. They make 0 sense.
A little over 2 weeks ago, I was on. Like, they're coming on.
Yeah.
A strong win against the Cowboys. They had a couple of good ones in a row. And I'm going, they're coming. All right. And now they're not.
I mean, you fall behind 16-0 to Josh McCown and Jason Myers, the kicker for the Jets.
Yeah.
You have no business being anywhere near the playoffs.
No, but they sort of are. The Jags, though, Cody Kessler's playing quarterback. Like, the problem with this game, I think we know what the Jags kind of are. Their defense might be rebounding a bit, but the offense is no good. Fournette will be back. That's good. But, I mean, the Titans, like I said, you have no idea what you're going to get.
I can't believe I took the Titans plus or given 10. I cannot believe I was that dumb. I was that dumb. Wow. But I was like, Josh McCown has done nothing. Isaiah Crowe had a nice game for them, so that kind of gave them a bit of life to put Jason Myers in field goal range. But, I mean, you have like, why were the Titans of where they're at right now favored by 10? It's just kind of silly. I mean, I look at this matchup, though, and to your point, Cody Kessler is not going to score 10 to 14 points in the drives that he creates. But that 4.5, I don't think on any given day Mariota can completely fall apart. I think the Jags with that hook there, I'd probably lean Jags just because I think their defense makes a play or two, and that's the difference in the game. But then again, Titans could go out and score 37. I have no idea. They don't make any sense. There's no analytical statistical trend that give me any type of insight to what the Titans are going to be on any given week. They're
And by the way, to get back to the top, which I don't think I cleared up, Titans are favored by 4.5 at home Thursday night. Over/under 37.5.
I think you take the over, no?
It's low.
It is low.
I mean, it's really low. So I don't know. I think I'm going to take the Titans. I don't feel great about it because, like I said, because I just don't. You know, they could lose by 10, they could win by 20, and I'm like, okay, sure.
There is one thing to consider. Cody Kessler didn't have Leonard Fournette. Mm-hmm. They just shorten that game, lean on Fournette 25 times. And Fournette's looked good. Before that one-game suspension, Fournette coming back from injury looked really good. And that could allow that over to hit because Fournette falls in the end zone. Maybe the Jaguars pick off Mariota, give Cody Kessler a short field. Those are the angles that I would look at to look at the Jaguars at 4.5. Because I think this 4.5 is a damnation of Cody Kessler, not anything else. I think the 4.5 is because Cody Kessler's the quarterback. If Bortles was the quarterback, for as bad as he's played, probably 3.5.
But that's telling me that you think that Vegas thinks, or Vegas thinks that we think, that this is an even matchup with Bortles, other than the home field.
Right.
And I don't know about that. I think the Titans.
It's not. Yes, but Bortles with Fournette is different than Kessler with Fournette. It's just different because Bortles and Fournette have worked in the past, and all it has to do is work on any given week. And with what the Titans have done the last 2 weeks, they don't deserve to be 4.5 with 2 regular starters in the line. Again, they were 10-point favorites last week, and they could barely beat a disgusting Jets team.
Disgusting. All right. So you're taking the points?
I'm leaning Jags right now. I mean, again, it's Tuesday at 9 a.m.
But we got to make our picks. We're not talking before Thursday. You got to make a decision, man.
I'm going to make the best decision for myself on Wednesday night is what I'm going to do.
Make one now.
If I'm giving Jags. If I give – see, this is silly. Again, we can break down what happened this weekend, but I'm not going to make a pick on a Tuesday morning when people are wagering money in this hobby. It's just silly. Like it's an exercise in futility to make a pick right now when people are wagering money on this. Like it's something you have to really think about when you're going to literally make a pick and put money down on something like this, where making it Tuesday morning isn't going to benefit anybody. What I pick and what you see on my NFL Pickwatch page on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, that's going to be a lot more accurate. I think that's where the bread is buttered. As they say, because making picks before you know injury reports, left, right, indifferent, it's an exercise in futility.
All right. So Badger Ryan on Twitter, he's at Freelance Fowler, and watch NFLPickwatch.com for his pick on Thursday morning. That's when you'll get it from him. I'm picking the Titans because I think the Jags are terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to think about it, which is probably the wise thing to do when you wager on games.
Fair enough. All right. Sunday, let's start Ravens Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 6.5 at home. Over under is 53. Has our friend John Harbaugh said anything yet about the quarterback situation? Has he confirmed yet, or is he still saying that they're going to split snaps?
I don't know. Do we have to make a pick? Because I would like to know.
I needed you to make the Thursday pick. That's all.
No, but you rushed me on Sunday morning. I'm just looking out for. You want to know the most information. Like you got to know. If you have to make a bet on Thursday for a Sunday game, you shouldn't be gambling. I want to know, because here's the thing about Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller has changed.
Lamar Jackson has really changed the way that you have to look at the Ravens because they possessed it 2-1 over the Falcons. 2 minutes to 1 in time of possession because they're just shortening the game and then they're letting that defense ride. So if the Ravens go in there like what the Arizona Cardinals did a month ago and they just run and shorten that game, Mahomes isn't going to have enough time to cover that 6.5. They're just not going to have time. So if Jackson plays, I like the Ravens in that. If this is the way you see this game, that they're basically that the way they play is shortening the game, then the under looks like a good play.
I would agree.
Okay.
And if Joe Flacco plays, all bets are off, and I'll make my pick Sunday morning because they're not going to announce if Flacco's playing until Sunday morning.
Right. I mean, he didn't say on Sunday. He didn't say anything. He said, "I'm not sure yet."
Because he still can't pass. But if they run the Gus bus and Lamar 40 times a game, and then they let T Sizzle and the defense do it, and again, Falcons are complete garbage. But all they need to do is make a play or two, and that can happen. Again, the Chiefs are still a well-oiled machine, but they let their guard down because of maybe a few distractions at Oakland, and they couldn't cover 10, let alone the 15 they were given Oakland in the late last week. So I know playing at Kansas City this late in the season is never fun, but there's a lot of reasons to like the Ravens in this spot if Lamar Jackson and Gus Edwards, right?
Yep.
Do what they have been doing.
All right. At this point spread, 6.5, this is a lot of respect for the Ravens, I think.
Well, and again, the Chiefs
by double digits over a lot of teams.
Yeah, but the Chiefs just peed down their leg when they should have blown out a terrible Raiders team.
I know,
because this time last week, we're like, Raiders are dead. We both agreed. Raiders are dead. They're going to get destroyed. Then Kareem Hunt, the video known around the world, pops up, and I'm like, that's a huge distraction. Because not only does Kareem Hunt have that on his history, gets kicked off the team 24 hours before the game starts, but Tyreek Hill has a little thing on his resume from when he was leaving college. So everybody's probably looking at Tyreek like, man, you got lucky. It's a distraction. It's a locker room distraction, and I guarantee that type of stuff did not allow them to, because they could have easily beat that team by 15, 20 points.
Right. So
they hang around, and that's why it's 6.5. Because
I'm not sure about this one. I'm tempted to go Chiefs with a number this small. So we'll see.
Oh, their offense is fully built for it. It's just a matter of if Lamar can get that time of possession over 35 minutes like he's done in the games they've won.
By the way, Ravens in their 3-game winning streak with Jackson, they've given up 18 points a game, which the defense is playing well. Plus, as you said, they're not giving up a lot of possessions. And
I guarantee Harbaugh's watching that Arizona Cardinals tape.
Okay. Colts, Texans by 5, over under 48.5. It's at Houston. The Texans have now won 9 straight, Ferris, 9 times in a row. Lots of running. They're taking the air out of the ball. Deshaun Watson is playing well.
Yeah, they're doing really good at this today.
Yeah, but they're not throwing a ton. I mean, they're ground. I mean, Miller and even Alfred Blue. I mean, Alfred Blue is not a super productive runner, but they're still giving him the ball 12 times. I mean, they're running a lot. And it's going fine.
Last 3 games, second in the NFL in rush yards per game, over 200 yards per game. That does not bode well for what the Colts defense makeup is. Plus, Deshaun's completing over 72% of his passes the last 3 games. The Colts allow the highest opposing quarterback completion percentage in the league. So if they're not passing in recent weeks, they're probably going to light up the Colts secondary in this game.
All right. What do you make of the way the Colts play? Their offense had been humming.
Yeah.
And then they go to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville makes a stand, basically, after they're dead. And I thought they were completely fading. They kind of said, they kind of said, all right, we're not going to give up. And their defense played great. Is it something, as a Colts watcher, you should worry about, or do you think their offense bounces back this week?
I think their offense bounces back. I kind of like the over in this matchup. I will say this, and it goes back to kind of what I alluded to earlier. The Jaguars shut down the Colts in the second half of their first matchup, so that kind of carried over into this game. The other thing, and I believe this was the fact, is that the Colts had played 3 straight games in Indy, and then you have to go to muggy Jacksonville. I factor that in. I think, again, when you play those games in Miami, Tampa, and Jacksonville, when you're used to climate controlled, and then all of a sudden you're in the elements and you're sucking wind and sweating a lot more, that might have worn on them a little bit in the second half. Their offensive line, without Ryan Kelly, their starting center, they lost their second string starter during the game. They went down to the third stringer at center. So the protection that Luck had seen, remember, Andrew Luck hadn't been sacked in 4 or 5 games up until last week, and then he's sacked 3 more times. He needs time to throw, and when he does, he makes plays. That pass rush is going to of a J.J. Watt and company is going to be another rude awakening for them with, again, their offensive line on the mend. They could be starting a third-string center unless Kelly can come back. That's where I'm a little nervous. I think they can still put up points. I don't know if Andrew Luck's going to throw 3 or more touchdowns again, but I think they can hang around. I just think that the Texans are running on all cylinders, and that defensive pass rush is just going to harass Luck for 4 quarters.
It's interesting. They're moving Clowney around, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what I'm going to do with this game.
I'll take the Texans.
The Texans, I don't like laying 5 points with them because they don't score a lot, but we'll see.
But again, I just don't look – again, if Deshaun – they could play the mind games and run, and then let DeAndre Hopkins and Demaryius Thomas torch a Saints or a Colts secondary that can't stop passing. So
okay, let's go to Lambeau. Packers Falcons 2T. This is a playing out there. I wonder who draws the short straw on the broadcast team for this game. Packers favored by 6, over under 48.5. Packers, as you know, fired Mike McCarthy after Sunday's debacle of a loss to Arizona at home. Packers, however, still 4-1-1 at home. Falcons 4-1 away. Sorry, 1-4 away. You talked about climate. You got a dome team going to a game that projects to have a high of 24 degrees. I know it's Tuesday, so weather reports are tough. But by the way, the under 48.5, the under 5 of the last 6 for both of these teams have been under. The Falcons defense didn't play badly last week against the Ravens. They were okay. They didn't score much. I don't know what to do here either. So I'm probably going to lean Packers. Mm-hmm. The Falcons going in here is just, again, they're such a disappointment to me.
Yeah.
Like I was
like you're disappointed in one of your children. You're disappointed in Dan Quinn and company.
Right, because I was pumping up the Falcons, for a few weeks, going, they're going to make a run. They're going to make a run, and basically, as I said it, they fell on their faces.
Literally.
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
Yeah, I think, and this was one of my deep dives of the week for another assignment. I look at it from Aaron Rodgers' standpoint. He does not want to be made a fool that he was, because again, he's getting all this. Well, not all this. He's getting grief that he's the guy that ended McCarthy's reign there in Green Bay because they didn't get along. He's going to go out of his way to destroy this team and say, look, you let me run the show, quote unquote, me run the show, and everything will be fine. They got to get Aaron Jones 20-plus carries in this game. They have to. He's at 10, 11, 12. He had no rhythm in last week's game, and he finished with 11. Did score a touchdown on that one long drive, but there's no reason the Packers shouldn't beat the Arizona Cardinals. So now you come in, Rodgers gets rid of the quote-unquote problem in his world. Aaron Rodgers has to run a little bit because, again, this is the part of the season where, Jordy Nelson had a nice game for the Raiders. I know he's on his last leg. I know they might not have been able to afford him, but this is where Aaron Rodgers really needs Jordy Nelson, right? Because these flavors of the week type role players in the wide receiver game, they're just not working, or there's just not that trust built. And he can only go to Devontae Adams so much. Randall Cobb's kind of dragging his body to the finish line this year. But again, the matchup favors Aaron Jones to have a big game because the Falcons haven't been able to stop opposing running backs, namely receiving or running backs, which isn't Jones's forte. But I think that the Packers blow them out by 10-plus.
I think you're probably right. That's it. I'm with you. The Falcons, I have no faith. I feel like the Falcons need to show me something before I really believe. I actually thought
where that comes from, because is it Julio Jones? He was 2 for 18 against the Ravens, 2 receptions for 18.
I mean, they're a good defense. See, the thing is, the Falcons, I thought, showed me something against the Saints on Thanksgiving night that I looked and I said, if it wasn't for the turnovers, which can be fluky, they were right in that game.
Right.
And
maybe that was their Jacksonville, they died on that day.
Maybe a home game, then they got killed by the Ravens. Golly. All right. Jets, Bills. Bills favored by 3.5 at home.
Who gets this assignment?
Yeah. Over under 38.5. Oh, this has to be who's with Steve Berline? Nothing against Steve Berline.
I don't know.
But I think he gets these, like, he's his team is the bottom of the barrel on CBS, I think.
All I notice is Bruce Arian keeps doing a ton of Browns games. But anyways, it's really funny how that works.
So Jets might get Sam Darnold back. Some places there's no line on this.
Yeah, right.
I was watching this morning, and I think it's the Sam Darnold uncertainty.
Yep.
The Bills, you know what? They played another decent game on Sunday. I know it's the Dolphins. Josh Allen, I was not a believer in Josh Allen. That dude, you know what? Fantasy football rant, tangent for a minute. I saw this in preseason with him. Look, I don't know that I want that guy throwing passes for my NFL team, but at any sign of trouble, he just tucks the ball and takes off.
Did you see the stat about his rushing yards?
Awesome.
Did you see the stat about his rushing yards?
What's that?
That since the merger, he had the 6th most rushing yards in a single game by a quarterback, joining Mike Vick 5 times, Kaepernick and RG3.
Yeah.
I mean, his 138 yards rushing against the Dolphins is the 6th most by a quarterback since the merger, joining the likes of Mike Vick, Colin Kaepernick, and RG3 for a single game. That's remarkable.
He's a good athlete. He is. As a high school kid told me over the summer, he's the Caucasian Cam Newton.
Well, that is a good indication. That is interesting. Cam Newton wasn't on that list.
Don't start. Cam's a great runner. You stop that. Blasphemer.
Anyway. Man, that dude, I guarantee he's gonna have shoulder surgery after the season.
I think you're absolutely right.
Oh my gosh, there's a hitch in the giddy up there.
Yeah, there is. All right, so the Jets have lost 6 in a row, and they've been other than the Tennessee loss that was a bad loss because they had the lead. They scored a defensive touchdown right off the bat, and they gave it away.
Yep.
I mean, you knew it was going to happen, and it happened. And at what point did the Jets just throw up their hands? I think it's not hard for me to see a bad team losing a game. I shouldn't say that. I was about to say it's hard for me to see the Bills losing this game. The Bills played decently at home. They're at least as good as the Jets are. They blew them out a few weeks ago. Like
with Matt Barkley.
Everything here points to a solid Bills win. And 3.5 seems like a small spread.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I think when Josh Allen, again, everything was kind of focused on his running game, but when Josh Allen is getting Zay Jones involved in the offense, it's going to be a long day for your defense. I know they ended up not winning. And again, Josh Allen, if Clay catches the ball, they beat the Dolphins. He had that fling to the end zone. It was a little underthrown, but I think Clay could have still caught it. They win that game. So it could be a completely – if they win that game, what is the point spread? Is it 4? Is it 4.5? Probably not. But when I think if they figure out the Darnold situation, this could go to 3, which is a great insurance policy for your Buffalo Bills, just in case you're worried about a little bit things being more even. But I think Darnold coming back after 3 weeks with a foot injury, lack of mobility, Bills get after him. Let's see how much rust needs to be knocked off. It's not an ideal situation for Darnold coming back with a foot injury when he's probably going to have to move around in the pocket a lot.
Yep. Bills defense is solid. You know what? You know what my hunch is? If this spread's 3.5, get it early. If you want the Bills, get it early because it's going to go up.
Agreed.
Because I think people are going to look at this spread and go, what?
Right.
Like, what do you mean the Jets are only get 3.5 points at Buffalo? It's ridiculous.
I know. And again, the Bills just 2 weeks ago, they beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
So and they made one of the best goal line stands of the season in that game.
All right. Giants-Redskins. So the early line that I saw last night was Redskins by 1.5, over under 43. But Mark Sanchez, I don't know what's going to wind up being here. So
all over the
have to
Giants.
wait on this.
All over the Giants.
I mean, you know, if you can get one, if you can get Redskins by 1, if you can find a line of Redskins favored by 1.5, and you want to take the Giants now, go jump on it. I think this is going to be a wait and see over the course of the week.
I think this is going to be the Redskins laying down their arms and being like, we're just out of weapons. Like this is where Josh Norman just is like, nah. Odell Beckham has a big game, something like that. Like it's just nah.
So last time
he'll keep grinding.
They played a little over a month ago. Redskins won 20-13, but I think it was 20-6, and the Giants scored a very late, sort of a garbage time touchdown. Peterson had another long run because he does that because he's 34 and he runs away from people still.
Incredible.
Whatever. Go figure.
Free.
Giants are 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 6. They've been playing okay. Even the games they lost. I mean, look, bad loss to Philly, but still a close loss on the road. Like they're not this horrendous team. They're below average.
You know what they have that a lot of people don't have is a good kicker.
Who doesn't?
The Giants have a good kicker. A lot of people can't say that.
That dude can kick from 70 if he wanted to, I think.
Aldrich Rosas.
Yeah.
And again, it boggles my mind how much kickers have impacted wins and losses against the spread this year. I mean, they've just completely screwed the pooch on a lot of things.
I remember Ali Haji Sheikh kicking for them as a rookie. You remember Ali Haji Sheikh?
I too remember that.
Yeah. Yes. As a rookie, he was 35 for 42 and kicked a 56-yarder one. Anyway,
Giants.
Go down a Giants stat rabbit hole.
Giants win. They ruin their draft position.
Yep, they're going to win this though. They're going to win. They're going to wind up like 7-9. Watch. All right. So anyway, you're going to have to wait and see on this one mostly. Bucs Saints. Saints by 8 at Tampa. Over under 56. Saints were rolling until the Cowboys. And look, you know, you and I joked that I got this right, and I was patting myself on the back. But look, it's rare that a team just rolls through a season beating everybody by 2 touchdowns. There's bumps in the road. They happen. They're a fantastic football team. They still might be the best team out there. They lost on the road to a pretty decent team.
That defense is probably top 4, if not top 3 now.
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Imagine when they get Sean Lee and David Irving back.
David Irving more than Sean Lee, because Sean Lee's just going to get hurt, and he's going to negatively impact Van Der Esch's attempt to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
A lot of Van Der Esch jerseys going to get bought for Christmas by Cowboy fans.
I was shocked how many things went wrong for the Saints in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, to get shut down on the goal line. And, goal line play calling these days is terrible. I'm tired of the inside shovel pass play call, inside the 2, inside the 3.
Yeah.
Or, as Peterson did, let's just run Adams up the middle. Like, you got to get a little bit more creative. But to get Drew Brees off the field and not convert on third downs, to hold them to 10 points, I mean, everything that went wrong. I don't even want to touch this game because, again, Jameis is putting up points. And the Saints defense, as good as it is, I still think Jameis is going to find a way to put up some points. So maybe I look at the over. That's a lot of points, though. I'd probably take the under on it.
It is a lot of points.
56 is pretty high. For this late in the season, people are beat up. But I don't think I would touch the spread on this one. If I did, I'd probably take the Buccaneers.
Yeah. So anyway, reminding everybody, the Bucs beat the Saints at home in Week 1, 48-40.
With Ryan Fitzpatrick. Remember him?
Bucs are 4-2 at home. So
points.
It's a lot of points. I don't think, even though I think the Saints probably, there's a revenge narrative here, and narratives can be, baloney. I get it, but this is a lot of points to give the Bucs here. That's all. I just think it's a lot.
Yeah. And again, Drew Brees could completely flip the script, and they could go out there and win 50-10. I have no idea.
I just have this image in my head. Do you know when you picture games in your head?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I picture games in my head, and when I picture games in my head of the Saints on grass, and I know they're a different team now, I struggle with it sometimes, thinking they're going to blow people out. And I know that's a dated outlook on the Saints because they were more of a, even though their offense is excellent right now, they used to be more of a track meet kind of team, and now they're more versatile and they run the ball very well. But I don't know. It's a lot of points.
What kind of hurt them in the game against the Cowboys is the Kirkwood, Arnold, Tommy Lee Lewis triple threat, which isn't a threat. I think they really missed having that wide receiver 2 and just some other receiving option outside of Thomas and Kamara. I really think
Traquan played, didn't he?
Traquan played, and I think he dropped a couple passes.
He didn't do anything, but he played.
And that's where I'm like, that could have been one of those games where you talk about you keep rolling along. Sometimes you need somebody outside of Thomas, Ingram, and Kamara to make a play. And when those guys get slowed down a little bit, I think that's kind of a thing that they ran into too. Because, again, their defense was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only do so much to stop Zeke. And there was a couple of busted plays downfield. Outside of that, I thought, again, they played a good game. They're just the Cowboys' defense is starting to get the credit they probably should have got 2-3 weeks ago.
Yep. All right, next up, Patriots-Dolphins. It's at Miami. Patriots favored by 8. Over-under 47. These teams met in Week 4 in New England. The Pats won 38-7.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins, though, 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 at home. At home, they have been they are one of the more stark home-away differences in the NFL this year.
This is a trap. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm taking Miami. Too many points. New England has not played well at Miami the last forever years. I don't have the splits with me, but man, that is a trap of all traps. I feel pretty confident taking Miami because Tannehill's played pretty well. The Patriots defense is still garbage, and they'll give up some points there. I think that they can keep it within a touchdown.
All right, I want to look at the Dolphins' home game so far here. All right, they won that weird lightning game against the Titans in Week 1. They beat Oakland 28-20. They beat Chicago 31-28. They beat Detroit 32-21. They beat the Jets 13-6, no offensive touchdowns. And then they beat the Bills 21-17. So look, they won close games against the Jets and the Bills. So it's not like they're taking care of business at home, but it might not be all that impressive.
I look at the Patriots at Tennessee a few weeks ago. They do not like to leave Foxborough. There's something there. And I don't believe they had Gronk in that game, but Gronk's making some impact. He's not making the impact he used to.
Right.
I think the Dolphins can keep it within a literal touchdown and extra point, 7.
All right.
This might be a late cover.
I want to look at the Pats road games. 31-20 loss at Jacksonville. 26-10 loss at Detroit. 38-31 win at Chicago. That was close. 25-6 win at Buffalo, which was not that. That was a closer game than it looked. 34-10 loss at Tennessee. And then they won this game against the Jets. It was 27-13, but it was close for a while. It looked like the Jets were going to cover. And the Jets are bad.
Quarterback in the Bills game.
That was Derek Anderson. So
I liked it. Tannehill's played a nice season. All things
okay.
considered, and above average, above what people would have probably believed. And Kenyon Drake has played well too. And they have Xavier Howard, probably one of the best defenders in the league, which always helps.
I mean, if you're going to find a Pats loss, what are the Pats, 10-2? Yeah, 10-2. So where's the loss come? I mean, they're at Pittsburgh next week. So
we still have to chop them up. All right.
Yeah, I think this game could stay close. I can buy that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which way I'm going yet.
Yeah, I think the 8. If it was 6.5, I'd probably go Pats. But at 8, I'm on Dolphins.
I mean, I don't like the Dolphins are another team. Just general rule. They're not a bad team. They're below. They're slightly below average. They're probably in the rank among the 32 teams. They're probably somewhere around 19th or 20th, maybe, right? And that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that I want to give a team like that 8 points at home. That's all.
No. If it was Brock, I'd probably take the Patriots at 8. With Tannehill, I'm going to take the Dolphins.
I might do the same. I'm leaning that way early in the week. Okay. Panthers-Browns. Panthers favored by 1.5 at Cleveland. Over/under 47. Panthers are there's some angry people in Charlotte. Woo! Everybody wants to fire everybody. It's bad.
Yeah, I didn't even know Brady Hoke was on the staff until he got fired yesterday. That's pretty funny.
Rivera's taking over the play calling. They actually played a good defensive second half against the Bucs. The offense didn't play well. The Cam shoulder thing. See, it's been an issue all year because they took him out again for the Hail Mary, right? And people make a big deal out of that. The shoulder, he's played well despite the shoulder, but the downfield passing game has not been effective.
No.
And everything's been short stuff, and they've been efficient. And I think Norv Turner has done a great job with them this year on that because the offense has played pretty well despite Cam not being able to, take the deep shots that you might like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, this team, they don't get any pass rush at all. At all. And I don't look, they've lost. They probably weren't as good as they looked at 6-2. I don't know if they're as bad as they look losing the last 4.
Sure.
Because 2 of them, some of them were close. 3 of them were close. I don't know. I think the Browns are good though.
Yeah.
I think these are 2 teams that are sort of in the vast middle of the league. It's just a matter of where they rank. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm leaning home team. I hate to see the Panthers go into this, this malaise here, but I think it's going to continue.
Yeah, I'll probably lean Browns on this. I think, again, because of the lack of pass rush, Baker's going to have more time to throw, and that's one thing he didn't have in Houston last week. We kind of foresaw what was going to happen in Houston to the Browns.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I didn't realize until just now. It's 2 of our hometown teams. But, yeah, I think that there's a lot to like about the direction of the Browns were going. They just ran into a buzzsaw of a Texans team that can do no wrong right now. Plus, again, the defensive front 7 of the Texans is probably one of the best ones in recent years. So I like Baker at home. I think they kind of pick up where they left off. I do have to check. Denzel Ward, their rookie defensive back, left that game with a concussion, I believe. He might have returned. But, again, there's no downfield threat, so I'm not really concerned about that. It's basically stop Christian McCaffrey, stay in the game, and run your offense. Because Baker, I mean, you look at the passing stats he had in that game where he was in rally mode, he can still get it going. I mean, He had the turnovers, but with the way that Callaway had a terrible fumble right on the doorstep that should have been 7 points. And Jarvis Landry made some heck of catches. I'm not deterred by one loss at Houston to come back and be underdogs. I think I take the Browns here.
Jarvis, by the way, Panthers can absolutely get beat in the slot. Speaking of Jarvis Landry. Yeah, I think I'm leaning Browns early. I kind of would like – I mean, look, I'm going to be totally honest. I would love to see the Panthers stop the bleeding here, but I don't know that's going to happen.
I just – real quick on Cam, and this was once where he was tackled because, again, we talked about how he hasn't been running. Well, I've been noticing he's just not running with the confidence that I've seen Cam Newton run in recent years. He got tackled on the right side of the field in the early part of that game, and he got up and he did that wince flex thing with his shoulder, and I'm like, I know it was just probably that one play that hurt, but it just, when he throws, his throwing motion just seems like so unnatural that there's something even a deeper issue there than meets the eye, and he's playing through it.
I don't know. That's another one, by the way, around here. You got a lot of people saying they should shut him down. Like, that's how frustrated people are. They're 6-6, and you got people saying just tank the season, give up and shut him down.
But to your point, he's done enough. I know they're losing now, but he's throwing 2 touchdown passes per game, and the yardage is there. I mean, you can't really – the next best thing is not better than Cam Newton at 85, 80%.
Totally. And look, I don't know – as much as the shoulder has now become an issue because they're losing, I don't know that it's worse than it was in week 2. It's just now that, when you see him get yanked on a Hail Mary, people take notice.
That was a nice throw by their backup, by the way.
Taylor Heineke. Yeah. All right. Next up, by the way, Browns 3-2-1 at home. So solid. Broncos Niners. Broncos favored by 5.5. This is at the Niners. Over under 43.5. The Broncos have won 3 straight. They're 6-1 against the spread in their last 7. Niners have lost 3 straight. Last 2 by a lot. Nick Mullins has turned into a pumpkin.
Oh my God! I was going to say the same thing. That's weird.
Really?
Literally, when you were done talking, and I love talking over you. I apologize. I hate when I do that. I was going to say the exact same thing about the pumpkin. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Matt Breida, I think, is out too.
Yeah.
For the Niners.
Ankle injury.
Let me check to confirm the status here of Matt Breida. He's not playing in week 14.
Yeah.
So Jeff Wilson is going to play running back. Maybe with Alfred Morris.
Raheem Mostert to that injury about a month ago when Nick Mullins had his coming out party. That was only like a month ago, and he's already turned into
So this game, I don't know. It seems easy to take the Broncos. I mean, who would have guessed a few weeks ago? Everybody wanted to fire Vance Joseph, and now the Broncos are playing. Philip Lindsay is just awesome.
That's the jersey I want for Christmas. Philip Lindsay. Oh man. I wrote up a little blurb about the Broncos-Bengals game. I go, I created a prop bet. I do a thing where I kind of, using fantasy projections, create a prop bet for different players. And I just said, I don't care about if he hits the prop bet. He's must-see TV because fantasy projections, and again, there's that split there in the backfield in Denver. Fantasy projections had Lindsay at like 65, 70 yards. And the Bengals are second worst against the rush. So they're just learning now. Just keep feeding Lindsay. And maybe you wear him down a little bit towards the end of the year. You want to keep him fresh, but at least you have the 2 bodies to work with there. But Lindsay just runs with an attitude, man. It's just fun to watch.
Yep. Have you seen, Pete, there's been a good Lindsay versus Saquon debate going on Twitter last couple of days.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Because of yards per carry, yards per touch. I mean.
I thought if I tweeted that out, and nobody follows my Twitter to the point that the people really probably making the argument too. But I was like, I'll get ridiculed because Saquon breaks tackles like Barry Sanders. He does it with a little bit more flair where Lindsay just runs through you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I haven't looked at the Rookie of the Year odds. I think Philip Lindsay deserves to be in the top 3, top 4 behind Baker and Saquon, right?
Yeah. I mean, not behind. I don't know about behind. He's up there.
Okay. No, it's just weird that it only took like the last 5 games. Again, sometimes it's good to peak late, and that's what I think Lindsay does, and that's why I think the Broncos at 5.5. It's a lot of points, but Nick Mullins, pumpkin, and no Breida. I don't see how they hang with this team, and it's so weird because Case Keenum's still the quarterback.
He's okay. He's not bad.
Alex Smith 2.0.
You can do worse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not great. He's not going to, carry on his back, but he's not bad. All right. I'm probably leaning Broncos this game. Even though I think the Broncos, like at some point, the Broncos are going to sort of regress to being what we thought they were a little bit. They're kind of mediocre, but the Niners, I don't know. I mean, the Niners they don't have any quarterback play. Like I don't know how they score enough. Like they're just in such a bad place that I think I dislike them more than I like the Broncos.
What about the under 43.5?
I don't know. Probably.
It's low, but
probably so because the Niners are so hamstrung on offense right now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that. I say under 2.
Chargers 48. Chargers by 14 over the Bengals. Over under 48.5. The Bengals have lost 6 of 7. No Dalton. What's AJ Green's status? Out probably, right?
No, he's out for the season. He's having surgery.
Definitely out for the season. Okay. Defense is horrendously bad. I've used the phrase death spiral. I brought it out last week to describe teams. I think this absolutely describes the Bengals right now. Chargers, huge win Sunday night at Pittsburgh. They're hoping to get Melvin Gordon back, but we're going to have to wait and see course of the week. But the Chargers, funny, they've had a few times at home where you thought they should blow people out and they didn't, like the Broncos.
So we're going to talk about that Chargers game for a second because God bless them, Steelers choke away a 16-point lead. I wrote to you Sunday morning things that I need to fight against. The NFL's top-notch ref crews who blew about 3 calls in that, and we're supposed to gamble on this game, and kickers. Both played a role in that game because Steelers missed a kick early in that game. The ref crew blew 3 calls against the Steelers in that game. It didn't even out. Sometimes you can make the argument, oh, these missed calls will even out in the end. It didn't. It cost the Steelers not only a win, but a cover. And we're supposed to wager on this. That's where I get when I look at these point spreads and I'm like, Steelers should have easily covered that 3.5, but because the refs are incompetent, we lose bets on that. Okay. And I don't know where it evens out. Like the stuff happens approach, that doesn't apply when people are looking at these games. And I know for some it's entertainment purposes, but for some, those calls blew that game. That wasn't a Chargers rally. That was them getting 3 breaks that allowed them to rally.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I mean, I don't know.
It's just silly.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, the Chargers it's not though. Like we can't sit here for 5 minutes and chop up a game and say the Steelers are going to win, the Chargers are going to win, and then the refs decide the game. Like that's again, an exercise in futility when you're really trying to say the Chargers are good, but the Steelers on their home field aren't going to melt down and give away 16 points because they played a bad game. There's calls, especially on that touchdown to Benjamin early in that game where they were offsides.
Right.
Ow! Crazy.
But so if the calls had gone the right way, would it have been a Steeler blowout? No.
It would have been Steelers by 7.
Maybe.
I mean, and that's the spread. Like that's what drives me crazy about that Chargers game. Because again, if you look at Pickwatch, it was probably a 50-50 split. I think most people lean Steelers in that game. But that's those moments where we have these top-notch ref crews that are always heralded. Oh, he's been around forever. They're blowing calls on a regular basis. It happened a million times in that Chiefs-Rams game too, which was a push.
Yep. All right.
I like the Chargers, though. They're going to destroy the Bengals.
I think they're going to destroy the Bengals, too. Even if Gordon's out, they're going to destroy the Bengals.
Even if the refs screw the Chargers. The Chargers are not charging.
Lions, Cardinals at Arizona. All right. Someone's got to explain this to me. The Lions, over under 40.5. The Lions are favored by 2.5 on the road? What the hell? Like, that makes no sense. This is the one that jumped out at me to me. This and the Bills-Jets. This even more. Like, how are the Lions favored at all?
Cardinals are garbage? I don't know.
So are the Lions.
I understand this.
On the road? Come on.
What do you think it should be, a pick 'em?
I think I would have figured, hey, these are 2 kind of bad teams, so the Cardinals will probably be favored because it's a home game. Like, you're telling me on a neutral field that this is a 5 or 6 point spread. This is what this is saying.
The Titans were favored by 10 last week. Jeez.
But the Titans are not a bad team. They're an infuriating team, but they're not a bad team.
But they're not a 10-point. This is where and again, this is why point spreads fluctuate throughout the week. So do you think in your heart of hearts that this point spread will move more to the Cardinals as the week goes on? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that's true.
It's gonna be
I don't think there's enough Cardinals investors.
Where
are the Cardinals investors? Because because they beat the Packers, like there's not going to be some type of fluky thing that comes back and bites them. I'm with you with the Lions because all they have right now is an improving defense in Galladay. That's basically all they have.
And the Cardinals have Patrick Peterson to cover Galladay.
Right. So
I love Galladay, but I don't get this at all. I mean, like Garrett Blunt is running the ball, and he's such a plotter. I don't get this. I mean, I don't know why. If you just had to pick this game straight up, as bad as the Cardinals can be, you got a hard time convincing me here that you should pick the Lions. And now you're giving me points? Come on. I know it's only 2.5, but come on.
I think this is odds makers distrust in Josh Rosen because you look at the way that game ended. Larry Fitzgerald had to make a heck of a catch to get them into field goal range on 3rd and long. I mean, there's just not – this is more a damnation of Josh Rosen leading this offense than it is any belief that the Lions are, quote-unquote, good enough to be getting
all right.
I just don't think there's a belief in the Cardinals that they can string together 2 games either. Now, if the Lions are laying down their arms and playing for a draft pick, I think an argument could be made for that because why go to Arizona and bust our butt to try and win when this is a lost season? That is a factor I think you have to look at too.
Okay. I mean, the Lions, they've lost 5 out of 6. They got lucky against Carolina. I don't know. I mean, the schedule's been tough. That I'll give them.
I just find it hard to pick the Cardinals in any game.
And okay, so if we wanted to shoot holes in my just astonishment at this line. So the Lions have lost 5 out of 6, right? But they lost to the Seahawks. Those games are to the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Bears again, and the Rams. So no cupcakes there.
None.
Okay.
And they hung with the Rams. They hung with the Rams.
They hung with the Rams, and the Rams covered late. Gurley scored a touchdown, 2 minutes left, and they covered late.
Oh, and he laid down early.
Yeah.
So that was infuriating.
All right. I'm going Cardinals here.
I'll take Lions. Sure. I'll take Lions.
Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys favored by 4 at home, over under 44. Cowboys beat them in Philly a few weeks ago. That's when the Cowboys started their 4-game win streak. The Eagles, even though they won last night, right?
Yeah. Corey Clement had some nice moments.
I mean, do you trust the Cowboys enough to pick them to cover?
Yeah. Because of the Eagles secondary being so depleted. I think
but it's getting better. It's getting healthier.
I think Gallup's starting to make some plays for the Cowboys, so that takes some pressure off of Amari Cooper to make every play, and then enough Zeke to fill your what do they say, passion cup on Dan Patrick's show. I really think that Cowboys win this game.
Okay. I think so too. Josh and I will dig into this more later in the week, but I'm going to go with Cowboys too.
It was nice to see Golden Tate.
Golden Tate more last night. That's good for the Eagles.
Right, and he made some snags.
Yeah, I mean that'll help if they figure that out.
Yeah, because it's still a lot of Zach Ertz.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zach Ertz. Josh Adams not bad either.
No, he had a nice game. He's an interesting running back. He got to the edge a few times, and I'm like, whoa, once you get to the edge, fun things happen.
All right, Steelers Raiders. So we got to talk about why I didn't watch a lot of that game last night again. We talked about the dinner I went to, but I got to talk about it more later. Steelers Raiders. Steelers by 11 at Oakland, over under 51.5. Steelers have lost 2 straight. They're 4-1-1 on the road. So the Raiders coming off that tough loss to KC, like they played them better than we thought. After 2 straight losses, do the Steelers come out and lay the smackdown against a bad team here?
What's James Conner's status? He's got
sounds like things are okay.
Yeah, I need to know because that 11's a lot of point. You need some Conner in there to feel good about it. When you're laying that many points, you need to know the running back situation.
Yep.
Because again, Steelers should have won that game by 10 points against the Chargers. Like there's just no sense. And it's interesting because there's a lot, like we follow different beat writers and stuff. So I'm following the beat writers for the Steelers. They're like, they don't have the killer instinct that past teams have had. And it's a very fluffy, oh my God, I've covered this team for 10 plus years type comment. But it's true. I mean, when you're up that much and you can't stop Keenan Allen anytime, you got to have those moments where you're really just stepping on the gas. And as much as I want to blame the refs, there are some moments where the Steelers just needed to stop Keenan Allen. All you had to do was stop Keenan Allen because Eckler did not have a game that I think a lot of people thought he was going to have. He really was bad. And all you had to do was stop Keenan Allen, and they couldn't do that.
No, they couldn't.
So
Keenan Allen's really good.
Oh, he's great. He was on my fantasy team for 5 years. Keeper.
I pick that guy every year. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I need to know if Connor's playing, if it's not bad and he plays, let's assume he's at 90% at best. I'll probably take the Steelers because I think the Raiders used a lot of energy to hang with the Chiefs, and I think that's hard to do in back-to-back weeks.
All right, I'm going to take a quick look at the Raiders home games.
They've played close.
We've got – here we go. All right, home games. They lost by 20 to the Rams. They beat the Browns. They lost by 24 to the Seahawks. They lost by 14 to the Colts.
Maybe they didn't play close.
They lost by 14 to the Chargers. And then they had this close loss to KC. But more often than not, they've gotten beat up pretty good.
Interesting.
So,
and Steelers need to send a message that they're not.
They're probably angry. That's an angry team right now.
But again,
and that's a pretty good team too.
Yeah. I got to know if Connor's playing. If Connor's playing, I'll probably take this.
Sunday night, Rams Bears at Soldier Field. Rams by 3, over under 52.5. Trubisky, they're hoping Trubisky's back. That seems to be the plan. You don't want to see any more Chase Daniel because that's not – I know he played okay at Thanksgiving.
He tried his best. He loved throwing to Tariq Cohen. I think that's what he'll miss most.
so the fantasy league, the Scott Fish Bowl fantasy league, I made the playoffs, and I have Tariq Cohen. That guy I was so excited on Sunday. Like, I want to send him a gift. He played so great on Sunday. I had him and Keenan Allen. I was basically like, all right, I advanced. I'm good. So
yeah, feel pretty good about that.
But yeah, he threw a lot to him. The first week he threw a lot to Gabriel too. The second week he didn't, but Tariq Cohen all the time, which I would. The guy's good. Mm-hmm. So the Bears played well at home. The only game they lost is the Patriots. Other than that, they've covered and won every game. The Rams have not been strong against the spread. I know this is a small spread, so it's kind of different because they've been favored by big numbers in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. And this was a late cover against Detroit. But before that, I think they had been 1-5-1, and they were like 7 against the spread or something. I like I've been such a Bears booster. I don't want to go off brand, so I think I'm going to take the Bears.
I'll take the Rams. I think that point spread's small enough that I feel. And again, Todd Gurley has played a nice, consistent, steady Eddie. He needs another big breakout game where it's like, Todd Gurley, top 3 MVP choice. But I still think even with the loss last week, Breeze is in the lead there. I like the Rams in this spot. Trubisky got to come back, knock some rust off. It's nice to knock rust off against the Rams because, as the Lions showed, you can score on them. I mean, it's not foolproof. Talib was on a snap count. So,
I don't have enough background. I didn't see enough of this game to know how well Talib played. I know he was on a limited.
Yeah, there was no consistency. Like when they would cut to him, he'd be on the sideline. So they were really focusing on so much of the play. But again, it's going to help and
right
on that snap count. It's going to be an improvement based on what they haven't been able to do throughout the course.
Right. And Sean McVay said probably full workload this week for Talib. All right. Monday, Vikings at Seahawks. I feel like the Vikings play a good team every single week.
They do.
It's brutal. There's no pushovers other than the Bills when they lost. But like every week I look, I go, oh, who do they have now? Like, who do they have on the road? What playoff team do they have on the road? And they're at Seattle. The Vikings have lost 3 out of 5. And, I mean, they're in the second playoff spot, but they're not comfortably in it. I think the Panthers' best friend right now is the Vikings schedule. So
yeah, that's true.
Vikings lost 3 out of 5. Seattle has won 3 straight. They lost to the Chargers and the Rams, both at home, I think. Mm-hmm. And now they've won 3 straight. And they're playing 3 out of their final 4 at home. And Russell Wilson, they love to run the ball. Chris Carson hurt his finger the other day. Sounds okay.
Yeah.
At one point, I joked yesterday that I was out on Sunday late afternoon, and I checked my phone for the stats because I had Wilson in a fantasy thing I was doing. And I looked, and the stats said 4 for 6 for 102 and 3 touchdowns. Like, what's going on over there? Yeah. It's like
incredible.
It's a wishbone offense going on.
Efficient.
Yeah, but I got a hard time. I don't know. I 3.5 is hard because I like the Vikings. I think they're good.
Right.
I think their defense is pretty good. They did not play well at New England.
Shocking. I mean, just Kirk Cousins is just going to have – and you know what was the most interesting? It was Thielen blowing a gasket. Sometimes you don't know these guys have it in them, but when you're that frustrated and you start chirping a little bit,
yeah,
that's when you know. I think that's a moment where Thielen realizes, man, we're far away from being able to win a Super Bowl. Maybe not win the NFC, but win a Super Bowl where they have these moments where they go on the road against a tough competition and they can't get over on rivals like that. And, playing in Seattle at this point of the season, I don't think this does them any favors. I don't think, again, you go this to the east, you go to the west. Those are not fun travel trips. And I buy the half point, take insurance, but I'll probably take Seattle if I can buy the half. With the hook, I probably lean Vikings, but I'm not thrilled about it because I still think Kirk Cousins has more, it's Kirk Cousins, than do you like that type moment, Kirk Cousins, even with Diggs and Thielen.
I think with the hook on 3.5, I think I'm leaning Vikings too right now. So, all right. But the one thing, if I can encourage one thing for anybody of all these games that we covered, go get the Bills right now.
I agree with that. I completely agree with Halpin on that.
Okay. Get us on Twitter. He's at Freelance Fowler. I'm actually Halpin37. The main account is at Pickwatch. Go to NFLPickwatch.com to make your picks. We've got, I think, 1,700 people making their picks there every week right now. Pretty great. Keep up with the expert picks, see what the trends are, all that stuff. One of the other, basically, one thing, when you're in a weekly pool and you try to find ways to go against the grain.
Yeah.
Well, we cover on Thursdays and more on Sunday mornings. I talk about, hey, 80% of people are picking Team X. You know who's I think the highest one was on Sunday? The Colts.
Mm.
So if you wanted to find a way to go against the grain, I mean, a home dog sometimes makes sense. So that's the Sunday show is a good way to do it. But just check Pickwatch. If you're not watching us, check on NFLPickwatch.com because you can look at that and kind of go, all right, where can I separate myself from other people? And keeping track of what other people pick late in the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's data that can help you find it. So that's it. Anything else going on? Anything else we missed?
No, I think, again, I always kind of finish with my Cleveland thought. I think it's not time to panic if you're a follower or an investor as far as your wagering goes in the Browns. Believe in the Browns at home. Keep an eye on Ward's health status. But, yeah, Cam and the Panthers seem a little lost right now, so I think it's a good time to hammer the Browns as an underdog at home.
All right, quick note. I went to the Bronco Nagurski Award dinner last night. It was the College Defensive Player of the Year. It was won by Josh Allen, linebacker from Kentucky. So this thing starts with the cocktail hour and has a bunch of silent auction items. Autographed helmets from, there was a Deshaun Watson helmet and there was a Roger Staubach helmet. There are 200 auction items at least. It's great. And what my auction item was, what I got from my wife?
What'd you get her? Oh, hourglass.
A signed photo of Chevy Chase with the Lakers jersey and afro from Fletch.
Is that her Christmas present?
I actually texted it to her. Because I was walking around, I'm going, there's a Lawrence Taylor. There's this. And I saw the Chevy Chase, so I texted to her, and she wrote back $200,000.
$200,000. Nice.
So
that's
I
good.
want to get it.
That's
she
awesome.
brought it to work today.
So, wait, she's out. She took it to work?
She took it to work because there's not a natural spot in our house for it.
Right over your shoulder.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like Fletch.
Oh.
I think it's mediocre. I know people are going to yell at me for that. But
I
always think Chevy Chase is the most overrated comedic actor ever.
I think he did such a great job in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Everything else kind of just is meh in my world, too. I think he had moments and skits and stuff, but Christmas Vacation is such a good movie, and he does such a good job in it. I look at every other movie, I'm like, eh.
I tried it again a couple of years ago, and I still couldn't warm up to it.
Christmas Vacation?
Yeah.
I think that's the most anti-American thing you've ever said.
I've heard that from people. They're amazed when I say that.
I mean, even if you don't like Chevy Chase, there's other funny parts in that movie.
I know. I get it. Like, everybody says that. And I tried a couple of years ago. I went, you know what? I need to try it again. And I watched it and I'm going,
I get it.
I don't get it.
There's a lot of movies that I either haven't seen, which people get mad at me about, or that I just don't warm up to. And it's just, like, I don't like Frasier. Everybody on Twitter loves the show Frasier. I think it's terrible. I think it's slow, and I think it's so inside baseball that you're just like, man, go watch a Dennis Miller Monday Night Football game. That's what you need right now. Like, ugh. So I get it. I completely understand. But that's the best place to really rile people up is go tweet right now that you haven't seen Christmas Vacation and watch the reply.
I've seen it.
Right. Well, that you didn't like it, or you didn't warm up.
I tried it multiple times and I didn't like it. But I didn't like the first Vacation movie either. I just thought it was okay.
That one's okay.
I thought it was good in Caddyshack.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But he's a supporting character. Like, it's of an ensemble. Right. It's not him.
Right.
And he doesn't do it for me.
No, I get it. And again, I think that's why he's very brash to a lot of people. And he wrote the book. I think his book title was "I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not." That's the name of his book, right?
Well, that was his Saturday Night Live line. So
okay, so that's a lot of what you need to know.
All right. Well, anyway,
that's a funny gift you got, Heather. Though.
Yeah, she's pretty happy because Abby thought she was getting the Deshaun Watson jersey, and I came home with the Chevy. She was looking like, "What is that?"
Wait, Abby likes Deshaun Watson now?
Abby loves Clemson.
Okay.
So she wears Clemson stuff all the time. She's a Clemson fanatic. We went to a game a couple of years ago. She loves Clemson.
Nice.
Yeah. So, all right, let's wrap it.
All right.
Everybody, come back on Friday morning. Josh and I will be here, make our picks for all the games. But for the one game we made to pick today, I picked the Titans. Ryan hedged and didn't want to pick anybody because it's only Tuesday and it's against his religion to pick a team on a Tuesday. So he's going to pick. So check him out on Twitter at Freelance Fowler, or check out his picks on NFLPickwatch.com by Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, or maybe 7 o'clock Thursday evening Eastern. He will decide to make his pick on Titans Jags. So you can check that out then. That is it for this edition of Pickwatch Live. Like I said, I'll be back Friday morning with Josh. So please come on back then. For Ryan Fowler, I'm John Halpin. See you next time.